Hello everybody, this is M. Carver playing Agrarian Skies Let's Play Episode 8. As you can see, I've been working hard on my AE system. I have expanded it quite a bit. The big deal is I've added some level emitters here and some redstone furnaces. This is automatically turning the rubber that I get into plastic for me. It's pretty straightforward. This export bus exports raw rubber, and this one exports a ball of glue, and they go into this furnace. This furnace is set up so that when there's a redstone enabled, it's turned off. And this level emitter is set up so if there are ever less than 64 bars of rubber, it turns off, which then allows this to run. So if I go over here and just pull my rubber out, you'll see that that turns off, and now this is running again. If I put the rubber back in, it turns off. Awesome, right? Okay. This is the same setup. It's taking rubber bars, and if there's ever less than, this is 3 stacks of raw plastic, it turns off the furnace. So same thing. All I have to do is take out a stack of raw plastic, and it starts cooking again. Nice, right? So this should make crafting a lot quicker. These are also dedicated now. One is dedicated to the basic processor, and this one's dedicated to the advanced processor. I've also added a lot of patterns for all the ores, as you can see. So this is able to turn the broken gold ore or the broken whatever ores into the gravels and the sands, and also the dusts. So what am I going to do today? Today we're going to automate the smeltery. I'm really excited about this. So let me get one of those real quick. We're going to need one of each of these. How to do one again? No, that'll work. One of those, one of those, one of those. I need one of the sand. So 1, 2, no, there it is. Shift right click. Okay, get the sand out. And then we're going to head upstairs. Actually, before we do that, let me grab my tank. I'm going to need a bucket. Do I have an empty bucket? I don't. I have 2 lava buckets. That's interesting. Alright, well I can just empty this guy over here, I think. One of these should have some space. There we go. Alright. So I've made some changes off camera like I usually do. The big one is I got this place set up for automated crushing and pulverizing. So here's how this works. This guy's got a fuzzy export bus. This will export stone hammers. It's set up to export stone hammers that have any kind of damage value. So as you can see, it's got all my broken hammers in it. These 3 are set up so that I can start exporting things like gravel. So I stick that in there. The AE system will take the crushed ores and craft it into gravel, the gravel, and this thing will go ahead and break it. And then as hammers break in here, it'll automatically be replaced. See, there you go. I could just stick this back into the AE system and then we're done. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, right? So I put the tin ore gravel in there. I need the silver ore, platinum ore, nickel, so on and so forth. I've also done this for all of the dusts. So I'm going to set this up and I will be right back. So as you can see, it's working along, it's doing its thing. Some stuff is bouncing around a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on there, if I'm honest. It seems to be that little brick that's bouncing around. Oh, I actually got some normal sand in there. That makes sense. Go find that real quick. There it is. Okay. So remove that. So this thing is filling up nicely. It's Oh, I got some normal gravel in there too. That's silly. I was not paying attention. Derp. Okay, get the gravel out. Don't need normal gravel in there. Alright, so I'm going to stick all these in here and we'll let them get processed. So yeah, so the next step is to automate these smelteries. Now off camera I have set up some export buses that will do the same thing over there, only instead of exporting the gravels and the sand, it will export the dusts. So I'm going to go off camera, go collect the dust real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back and I have some dust and I've separated them out into piles of what can go together. So all I did was take like gold for example, hit U, hit R on the ingot, go back to the casting table. If you click on this guy to get the smeltery, then hit U on this and then go back again. And when you're in the alloy smeltery, it will tell you what it can mix with. So gold can mix with silver. So I don't want that to happen while I'm just doing my standard processing. So I put the silver over in this one. And I did that with all of these to make sure that nothing would conflict. All right, so now we need to set this up. So I see I have molten iron in here. So let me show you what the plan is. So iron is this one. So I'm going to put copper and lead in here. So this one gets copper and lead. I'm going to let these melt down, and I'm going to actually fill up these other smelteries. And I'll show you how we can set this up so that iron comes out here, copper comes out here, and lead comes out here. So until I'm ready to do that, well, until these are done smelting, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, they've both melted, and I have two separate metals, which is what I want. I don't want them to become alloys. So I have copper and lead in here. So I'm going to put lead over here. Now the way you do that is you grab your an empty tank. The tanks are pretty easy to make, by the way. It's just 5 glass panes with obsidian in each corner. And then you give this guy a wrench and tell it to suck out a liquid. It will always grab the one on the bottom first. So you can see now it's filled with molten copper. And this one is molten lead. They can't mix. So now what I can do is wrench that until it ejects and it will be empty. And you can see that in here the copper is all back, all 9 ingots. Now what you do is you grab a bucket full, and you go into here and you just do a whitelist for lead. See that becomes molten lead liquid? Now if I turn this on, you'll see in the tooltip above it still says empty. I can suck the lead out of this tank. Get the tank back. Okay, and now all I have to do is take my bucket. Actually, I need to put the... Ooh, no, I don't want you to connect. Alright. I have to put the bucket back in here. Alright, cool, right? So that should become a block. Perfect. Alright, now I'm going to do the same thing here. Put that on there. Make sure this is not connected. Get the copper out. Grab my bucket. Make sure it's empty, right? And then whitelist copper. Put the copper back in. Suck the copper out of the tank. And now I can do that. There we go. Easy, right? And then I can also put my iron in there. And this one's already been set up, as you can see. So when those are done melting, that should fill up. Now what I can do is take my iron, copper, and lead, and I can tell this guy stack mode, move single items or craft, and always active. Then I just put my dust in here, like so, and it will start filling up my smeltery, and the smeltery will start working. Pretty cool, right? And as soon as I get some export buses set up on these guys, they'll start pulling the blocks out, throwing them in my ME system, and this thing will just basically run in a big cycle and empty everything out. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to do these other two off camera, and we'll be back when we're ready to set up the casting basins. Alright, everything is set up. I've already dug some holes. So all I need to do now is extract the blocks out of the bottom of these things. Now, I don't really want to spend a bunch of resources on doing import buses. So what I'm going to do is use item ducts. I'm not sure. Maybe I do just want to do import buses. What would it take to make 9 of these? Do I have it? It's crafting a bunch of stuff. Alright, I'm going to let this craft actually, and then when these import buses are done, we'll finish everything up. Alright, I'll be right back. Import buses are finished. I'm going to need a bunch of cabling. Let's get 20 of them. Alright. These are pretty simple. I have some cobble so I can make some make something to stand on, basically. Here we go. So, basic import bus. So holding down shift, right click, places it. And there's a third one over here, which I can't see. Oops. Okay. Easy, right? So now those should be empty. I guess you can't see it from down here. But I'm going to finish rigging these up. Ooh, I can do that. Cool. And then when I'm done with that, I'll be right back. Alright, everything's rigged up. So if we take a look here, we can see some of the blocks are growing. So I have 15 ferrous blocks, 9, 10 iron. So that's going up, so that's good. Go upstairs and just make sure the smelteries all look right. So that block just got sucked out. Looks like we're just doing nickel right now. This one looks like we have gold on the bottom. It's coming out over here. Alright, block is left. This looks good. It looks like we're starting tin, so it's working on the gold and finishing up the tin. This one is doing mostly iron. See, it's draining pretty fast. That's not too bad. Alright. Cool, I like that. So it looks like this build is done. Record timing, I might add. Looks like we have some escapees again. Let's see here. Maybe go even a little taller. I hope I can one day replace this because it's cool, but it's really buggy. I think though once it finishes doing all this this mass grinding, it'll slow down a lot and we won't have quite so much stuff getting out. So yeah, so I think I do have another build planned. I wasn't going to do it this episode, but I think I'm going to just because it looks like I have time. So I'm going to pull the pieces together and I will be right back. Alright, I am back. And what I am about to build is a brand new cobble generator. Yes, I just took the cobble from that. Scary, right? Alright. So this is pretty straightforward build. Now I put a pneumatic servo. I did, didn't I? Yeah. Each one of these. Okay, cool. So all I need now is some water, so I'm just going to make a quick infinite source here. Yeah, like that. Okay. To give each one of these water. I need to give each one of them lava. There we go, that's what I want to see. Let's go steal some lava from these. Beautiful. Okay. I think I only need 2. Does that sound right? I only need 1. Alright, that's fine. Okay. So I need to set these out to output on their back. Like so. This one needs a wrench. I don't think the pneumatic servo is really needed here, but whatever. Okay. Oops, actually this one needs to go out the bottom. There it goes. All right, and so they're exporting their cobblestone into this ME interface, which is then going to import it into my AE system. You can see the cobblestone counting up. Now I don't want that to go up forever, so I have this little guy on me. And I need some redstone. So my plan is set these guys to work when redstone is low. Put this like this. Need a step. And I think I can do that. See, will that light up? Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful, right? And so now this is stopped. So what I'm going to do is set it up so that when it has, say 3,000 redstone, or cobble, it stops. So currently there are 1,300, right? So if I put 1,000 in here, so now that 1,300 is greater than 1,000, right? So that means it's full, and so it stopped the igneous extruders. If I put it to 3,000, it is now off, allowing the igneous extruders to run and allowing this to fill up. So this will cause it to fill up all the way to 3,000. Cool, right? Right. All right, so I have one more thing I want to do, and that's get my lava hooked back up. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of power, and that would not be a good time for me. So let's craft one of these guys. Looks like it's going. Cooking the processor in the furnace right there on the left. And I think it's done. Look at my interface. There's my interface. Get some cables, and I'm going to need some of that precious cobble. Okay. So now what we can do is put this guy right here. We're going to tell him to export cobblestone. No. There we go. Export cobblestone. All right. So what it will do is try and keep a stack of cobblestone in the ME interface forever. So you should see cobblestone show up there. And then these pipes are going to suck it out of the cobblestone, out of the ME interface, and put it into these crucibles. Cool, right? You have some leaking. That's not cool. Why are they leaking? Ooh, we have a lot of leakage. Huh. Wonder why that is. Yeah, it's just popping out of the tops, isn't it? Huh. It's not what I expected at all. It's just supposed to keep Oh, wait, that's not, okay. That was from when I removed the igneous extruder earlier. See, it's not leaking anymore. Perfect, right? So you can see cobblestone. Looks like it's filling up. I think when there's so much lava in there, it can't handle any more cobblestone. And hopefully we see the cobblestone overall going up still. Yeah. Okay, cool. So the next thing we need to do is get our pulverizers down here. I'm going to do that off camera for a moment, and I'll be right back. I've set this up so I have these level emitters here and these pulverizers. So this first row of pulverizers is going to be pulverizing cobblestone. So I'm going to set these guys up. And their purpose is to make gravel. So I'm going to just do something simple like 512 pieces of gravel. Alright, so these will cook until there's 512 pieces of gravel in the system. Now these ones are going to make gravel into sand. Boom, boom. And then I'll just do the same thing here. 512 sounds like a good number. So these should start making sand. Awesome. And then these ones are going to turn sand into dust. So I have my export buses. They're going to export sand. And they'll be on as long as there's, 512. Sounds like a good number. All right. So here we go. So these are cooking up our dust. They're getting pulled out by the import buses back here. And then their inputs are coming in the top. Now it's the same setup as the cobblestone gen over there. So if I lower this to, wow, a really low number apparently. I don't have much gravel, do I? Wow. 4? Really? Not even 4? Huh. Alright, well I'm going to let that go for a little bit. We'll come back and see if it's turned off. But while I did that, I also did some changes up here. And I'll show you those. So all the pulverizers are gone from in front of this. Instead, I have export buses underneath these pushing the sand, the dust, and the gravel into the autonomous activators. You can see them wired up over here. Pretty straightforward. Let's see if this is working like I think it would. So emit when above or equal to limit. So am I really using that much gravel? Apparently I am. Wow. I find that hard to believe. These have cobblestone, cobblestone, cobblestone. Okay. Apparently that's the truth. Huh. Well, there you go. You can see it flicker when the cobblestone comes through the system. Oh, that's why it's going so slow. It's trying to fill these guys up. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. So it's not that I'm eating all my gravel, it's that it's all getting sucked into this guy. See, now that's filling up a little bit. So is that. So is that. Yeah. So once these get full, it should slow down quite a bit. And these are probably the same thing, right? Yeah. They're just chewing up all the sand. So when these fill up, we should be good. Upstairs, I only needed 6 of these to keep that stuff stocked. So I really do expect these to be fine. So I'm going to let them run for a little while. We'll come back and check and see how they're doing. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, and I'm back, and it looks like they caught up. My math was correct after all. So as you can see, they're turning on and off, which is what you'd expect. So I am reaching the gravel limits and the sand limits and so on and so forth. So it looks like we're overproducing, which is what we want. I don't think we will be for very long because I'm going to make a glass factory and I'm going to make a soul sand factory soon. And so I'm going to need to add more pulverizers, but that's why I built it this way, so that I can just add more pulverizers into the end of this thing. Same thing with the igneous extruders. I can add those to my heart's content for as much as I need in this general direction. Um, so I think that's the end of the episode. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, take it easy.